All right, so let's take you to this now. SASSA and the Department of Social Development have briefed the Portfolio Committee on the findings of an investigation into allegations on the weaknesses in the application and payment system of the SRD grant. They also outlined measures put in place to prevent this. This comes after 2 Stellenbosch University students claimed their names were used to claim the SRD grant, even though they did not apply for the SRD grant. Let's now bring in Bridget Masango, Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Social Development. Good afternoon to you, and thank you so much for your time. Perhaps let's start with what the investigation has uncovered following what I would call this damning expose by the 2 first-year students at Stellenbosch University.
Good afternoon to you and your viewers. The investigation that was done by the Department of Social Development has, in a way, confirmed what was found, or the findings of the 2 students from Stellenbosch University, which means that there are gaps and there are very weak security systems on the SRD grant payment and application system. And so it was a day today where the minister had asked to come back and give us what they have found when they instituted an investigation by an independent service provider. So today was the day when they came back to say, as the student said, that applying for this grant is as easy as just putting any number of a ID number, and then you find actually that already your ID number has an application active in the system. So they confirmed that today, and so it is an issue that is very concerning, obviously, because even my number was put in the system and I am over the age for the SRD grant, but it said that there is an active grant application active on the system. So it was a very concerning and very scary issue for the Portfolio Committee.
Were they able then to say that, yes, indeed, what they uncovered was tantamount to fraud, and also these vulnerabilities also led to bugs found in the system, as the students are saying? Because what I'm seeing here in this media statement, which I'm yet to read to its full extent, I've just received it, is that the key findings, the one says vulnerabilities identified. The system assessment revealed several medium, it calls it, vulnerabilities, and not to the level and the extent of fraud as we were meant to believe. Right.
The system was rated medium in as far as the risk profile is, if I may call it that. But when you take that and you relate that to the issues that they said, for example, they were saying that there are no verification processes in the system. That cannot be a medium risk. So they were saying that in the cyberspace, what they found put the SASSA system at a medium risk. But when you zoom in to what is actually wrong, you find that for a layman, that is very, very concerning risks. Even the service provider was talking about significant, breaches or significant gaps in the system. So it is a very concerning issue, and even the service providers and the Honourable Minister herself, because she was in the meeting, because she actually commissioned this investigation, she did say it is worrying. It confirms what the members of the portfolio committees have been saying over time, but also it is a situation that cannot be left unattended, which is why SASSA has now gone away with this investigation report from the service provider, so that they can put together now a plan of sorts to say what is it that they are going to do, because each of the gaps was given a recommendation by the service provider. And our take is this as the portfolio committee meeting, as the portfolio committee, is that each of those recommendations must be implemented so that the system can be robust enough and protect the grants for the recipients.
Are you, as a committee chair, satisfied that this will be done as quickly as possible? Because when you consider that the two students, started off by questioning why it was, in fact, so easy to access the system, as you also called it, that you were able to put in your ID number. I mean, they go on to say that we queried SASSA's public portal with 300,000 ID numbers from February 2005 at a rate of 700 per minute. They go on to question the first problem is that this shouldn't be possible. A competent system with basic security would have limited the rate at which we could query it. Are you then satisfied that the next steps and the recommendations will then be implemented as soon as possible, especially because we are now at the end of the year? I would imagine that the system is already open for 2025's intake.
Right. The system is open, and although we know that the system has already been open all this time, even during the time when these findings were brought to the public domain, the minister gave us her undertaking, because we are oversighting the department, the minister. She gave us in this meeting her undertaking that she is going away to do the work that has been outlined, that has been found by the service provider, and we will be getting regular reports on how far they are. There are things that they said that can be done almost immediately, but there are things that they have to go away and cost and come back to say that we will do this and this is how much it will cost. But we got the minister's express undertaking that this issue is going to be attended to immediately. This also, I might mention that part of what brought us to where we are today was the report by the Auditor General South Africa, where the report was saying that there is a lack or weak oversight by the department on its entities, and that is SASSA and the NDA. So the minister assured us that she will strengthen that oversight mechanism between her and the entities, the department and the entities, and then take on this particular project because of what could be possible if it was left unattended.
And before we wrap our conversation, just in terms of next steps, I mean, is there going to be some form of accountability here? Because as the students also highlighted, there are thousands of students who need this funding, and many of them have not been able to get it because of what we are seeing now. I mean, 2 young students have managed then to have this full-on investigation being conducted, and one wonders then how long it's been going on and how many students have not been able to access this funding.
Right. There will be accountability applied in this issue between the department who came with her senior leadership today and SASSA, whose CEO was there. There was complete, acceptance of things having gone wrong. The extent to which, how long, as you are asking very rightly, how long this has been happening, the extent of that is going to form part of the scope of the next level of the investigation, because today we just got to know that the findings are proven to be true, and there are other gaps that were also identified. But going now, it is to say, what are the recommendations? And then the next leg of the investigation is to go deeper to say how many people who have live applications on the system have actually been, if you like, given money, although it has gone to the wrong people? And how many of those people are the people that are eligible for this funding? And who was involved in making this happen, where people's ID numbers were used illegally? And how many of those people are internal at SASSA or in the department, and how many are external? So this is going to be, although it's going to be done fairly robustly and quickly, but obviously there are processes that need to be followed. And we also were assured by the minister that she is going to be involving the government agencies such as your SIU, such as your state security agency, and so on and so forth, because we do not know at this stage the depth of the leakage that has taken place, but those organizations are going to be able to delve into the system of SASSA and come up with that report. And then, of course, the remediations that need to take place will then ensue.
Has there been any attempt from either of the role players been made to contact Mr. Gosai and Mr. Cedros in this regard? I mean, even in their recommendations, when they exposed this, they said that unfortunately the scale of this crisis means that there is no easy solution and that a reboot is necessary and needed here. The minister, on the 23rd of October, the minister undertook that her team, her department, will get in touch with the two students just to establish, the tools that they had used and how they had gotten into the system. And I am aware of a situation where I was personally asked for the contact numbers of the two students by the department. So I know that there is a process that is going on to get in touch with the minister, from the department to get in touch with the two students, because if you do the work like this, you've got to go back to the people who actually uncovered it and see what it is that they had done, so that you know how to go about then remediating. So I am aware that effort has been made to get in touch with the two students. Thank you so much, Chair. And of course, as a follow-up, I would imagine other investigations would include just uncovering who developed the SASSA SRD system to begin with, and also what security checks were in place even then. But thank you so much for your time. That's where we have to leave it for now. That is Bridget Masango, Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Social Development.